My name is Eliseo Marone, and I don't think I'll ever know peace again. You'd probably never guess anything was wrong with me if you saw me on the street. I look normal enough, an 18-year-old guy with tall, messy, dark hair, Italian roots that show in my olive skin. But there's something you can't see, something that follows me wherever I go. I wasn't always like this. I was born in a little village in northern Italy. My parents told me it was peaceful, quiet, the kind of place you only see on postcards. When I was 3, we moved to Massachusetts for my dad's job, and I don't remember much of Italy, just fragments. But I've been told all my life how lucky I was to be from such a beautiful place. I guess that's supposed to mean something. It started last year. At first, I thought I was just tired, sleepless nights, a growing sense of unease, that sort of thing, but it grew a lot worse. It became something more than that. Something sinister. Qualcosa di naturale. This thing, this shadow, this presence started creeping into my life. It's hard to explain, like trying to describe something you've never truly seen, only felt, and it's always there. I call it the Hollow Whisper. It's not just a name I made up. It's the only way to describe the way it makes me feel. It doesn't have a face, but it feels like it's watching me. It doesn't have a voice, but it whispers things in my head. At first, it was just a flicker, like when you see something move in the corner of your eye, but when you turn, there's nothing there. Except with the whisper, it never goes away. At night, it's way worse. I'll be laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, and I can feel it. The air gets thick, like it's pressing down on me, and that's when the whispers start. Quiet at first, just a hiss, barely noticeable, but they grow louder, and by the time they're at their worst, they drown out everything else. They tell me I'm not enough, that I'll never be enough, that I'm broken in a way no one can fix. The doctors say it's a form of depersonalization. What was it again? Depersonalization, derealization disorder? They called it, I don't know. Basically, it makes you feel like you're not real, or like the world around you is fake. I guess that makes sense, but it doesn't explain the whisper. They said it was all in my head, but I'm not too sure. The hollow whispers feel real. Like it's more than just some mental disorder. It feels like it's alive. Like it has its own thoughts. I tried to tell my parents. They listened, I guess, but they don't get it. They tell me to focus on school, on friends. I've lost most of my friends, actually. It's hard to keep them around when they start seeing the cracks, when they notice the way I zone out in conversations, or how I get lost staring at nothing. I can't tell them the truth. I can't tell them about the hollow whisper. There's this one memory I can't shake. A few months ago, I was walking home from the library late at night. The streets were empty, the air cold and damp from the rain earlier that day. Everything felt distant, like I was watching myself from the outside. Then, out of nowhere, the whisper spoke. Not just inside my head, outside, in the street, from behind me. It said my name. I froze. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe, but I could hear my heart pounding in my chest. And slowly, I turned around, but there was nothing there, nothing visible. But it felt closer than ever. It was like something was standing just out of reach, watching me with cold, hollow eyes. My whole body trembled, but I forced myself to walk. I didn't run because I just couldn't give it the satisfaction. Since then, the hollow whisper has only grown bolder. It shows up during the day now. When I'm sitting in class, staring at the board, I'll feel that same weight on my chest, that same sense of dread, and I'll hear its voice. Sometimes I catch myself whispering back. I don't even know what I'm saying. I just try to block it out, but it never leaves. My parents want me to see a therapist again. They think it'll help, but the last one didn't. How do you explain something like this to someone who doesn't feel it? To them, it's just a disorder, something with a name and symptoms. But the hollow whisper is so much more. It's not just a part of me, it's feeding off of me. I can feel it growing stronger, sinking its claws deeper into my mind. I don't know how much longer I can fight it. The whisper is always telling me dark things, horrible things, things I just don't want to hear. I try to block it out, to drown it with music or distractions, but it's just slips. It knows me better than I know myself. It knows my fears and my insecurities. I tried talking to a girl once. I thought maybe if I could focus on something real, something outside myself, it would help. Her name was Emily, and she was nice. We went for coffee, sat, and talked for a while, but halfway through, I felt the hollow whisper's presence creeping in. It started small, just a chill running down my spine, but soon I could barely hear what she was saying. All I could hear was its voice, telling me how pointless it all was, how I would ruin it, and how I wasn't worth her time. I left early. I made some excuse and just walked home, but I could still feel the whisper with me, laughing in my ear, mocking me for thinking I could ever escape it. It's not just whispers anymore. Sometimes I see things, shadows, shapes, things that flicker at the edge of my vision. They're always just out of reach, but I know they're there, watching, waiting. I try to tell myself they're not real, but the more I tell myself that, the more real they become. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Every day feels like I'm slipping further away, like I'm becoming more of a ghost, less of a person. I can't trust my own mind anymore. The hollow whisper is winning. I wonder sometimes if it's trying to take me somewhere dark where I can't escape. I dream about it sometimes, about falling into a pit, a deep, endless pit, with the whisper echoing all around me, calling my name over and over. I wake up drenched in sweat, my heart racing, but the fear doesn't go away. It lingers, wraps itself around me like a second skin. The doctors say I need medication, but what good will that do? How can they fix something they can't even see? I'm scared. I don't know what's real anymore. The hollow whisper is just part of me, but it feels like it's becoming me. I can't tell where it ends and where I begin. Maybe that's the scariest part. Maybe one day there won't be a difference. Maybe one day I'll just disappear. I'm trying to hold on to what's left of me, but it's getting harder. Every time I look in the mirror, I barely recognize the person standing back. The whisper's voice is louder now, drowning out the things that used to matter. I can't focus on school, on family, on anything. All I hear is it telling me that I'm not enough, that I'm broken beyond repair, and maybe it's right. Some nights I stand at the edge of my bed, staring into the darkness. The hollow whisper is always there, just waiting and watching. I can't tell if it's trying to pull me in, or if it's already succeeded. What if this is it? What if this is all I am now? A hollow shell of who I used to be, barely hanging on. Part of me wants to give in, to let the whisper take over completely, but maybe then the struggle will finally end. But another part of me, some small, fragile part that's still me, refuses to let go. I don't know how long I can hold on to that part, but as long as it's there, I have to keep fighting. I have to believe there's a way out of this. I have to believe that the whisper isn't stronger than me, even when it feels like it is. Even when it feels like it's all I have left. I have to believe that it can't take everything from me. Because if I don't, then what's the point of fighting at all?